The power of consciousness wouldn't change our lives if nature had provided us all with the same responses to experiences. But clearly, that's not the case. No two people share the exact same perception of anything. The face of someone you love might be the face of my worst enemy. The food that makes you hungry might make me nauseous. These personal responses are learned, and this is where differences come from. Learning is a very active use of the mind, and it leads to very active changes in the body. The perceptions of love, hate, pleasure, and disgust all stimulate the body in completely different directions. Simply put, our body is the physical result of all the interpretations we've learned to make since we were born. Some patients who undergo organ transplants report strange experiences after receiving a new kidney, liver, or heart. Without knowing who their donor was, they begin to have memories or cravings that belong to that person. When you place someone else's tissue into another person, associations that belong to the donor may be released. In one case, a woman who received a heart transplant woke up with cravings for beer and McDonald's chicken, which surprised her because she had never desired those things before. She also began having mysterious dreams about a young man named Timmy. After tracking down the donor, she discovered he was a young man named Timmy who had died in a car accident. To her amazement, she learned that Timmy loved beer and had died on his way home from McDonald's. Rather than looking for a supernatural explanation for these incidents, we can see them as confirmation that our bodies are made of experiences transformed into physical expression. Since experience is something we embody, literally turn into body, our memories are stored in our cells. Therefore, receiving someone else's cells means inheriting some of their memories as well. Your cells are constantly processing experience and metabolizing it according to your personal interpretation. You don't simply absorb raw data through your eyes and ears and then judge it, you physically become that interpretation. For example, someone who is depressed after losing their job physically projects sadness throughout their body, neurotransmitter production in the brain drops, hormone levels decrease, sleep cycles are disrupted, cell receptors are altered, and blood platelets become stickier, making them more prone to clotting. Even the chemicals in their tears are different from those shed in moments of joy. All of this changes dramatically when that person finds a new, more fulfilling job. Neurotransmitter production increases, hormone levels rise, and every vital biochemical process, including DNA activity, reflects this positive shift. While we tend to think of DNA as a closed vault of genetic information, its active twin, RNA, responds to daily life. For example, medical students during exam periods show a reduced production of interleukin-2, a critical element in the immune response that fights cancer. Interleukin-2 production is controlled by RNA messengers, meaning that the student's anxiety over passing exams directly affects their genes. This underscores the need to use our consciousness to create the bodies we truly desire. Exam stress will eventually pass, just as depression over a lost job fades, but the process of aging must be addressed every day. Your interpretation of how you age is critical for what will happen over the next 4, 5, or 6 decades. Neurologically speaking, a brain signal is just a series of energy fluctuations. If you're in a coma, those signals have no meaning. But if you're alert and conscious, the same signals open up to infinite creative interpretations. Shakespeare wasn't speaking metaphorically when he wrote, "We are such stuff as dreams are made on." The body is like a living dream, a three-dimensional projection of brain signals that we call reality. Aging is nothing more than a series of misdirected transformations, processes that should remain stable, balanced, and regenerative, but that lose their way. This shows up as physical change, but what really happened is that your consciousness, whether in your mind or cells, got off track first. By becoming aware of how this deviation occurred, you can realign your body's biochemistry. There is no biochemistry without consciousness. Every cell in your body is fully aware of what you think and feel about yourself. Once you accept this fact, the illusion of being a victim of a mindless body that degenerates randomly disappears.